probably my most touched tool, the tool I've used the most this growing season, I would have to say is this Terrateck double wheel hoe with Planet Junior collinear hoe attachment. And let me show you what that attachment looks like here. We've got a V shape up front, and so it just slices so nice in the ground, even if the ground is really stiff. And I keep that blade sharp. And then it's collinear, meaning you can go backwards too, and you can flip that blade around and go the other direction. I'll show you all that, how that works in a second. But first, let me explain a little bit about the tool. It is so ergonomical to use. I've tried several wheel hoes, and this has to be my favorite wheel hoe because it's really sturdy in its construction and has an excellent power transfer straight from my shoulders to the blade because of its triangular design, and it's so sturdy. There are no shifting, moving parts here, and super comfortable to use. They conceded to give you some nice wooden handles here, and of course it can easily be turned into a single wheel hoe if you want. One of these wheels can come off of here, or both wheels would come off. Then you'd move one to the middle row here. So really pretty quickly converts to a single wheel hoe if that's your preference. Balancing has never been a strong suit of mine, so I don't mind having two wheels on here. But it really depends on your situation. In some cases you need a single hoe. But I tell you what I've been doing this spring is just running up and down my paths at least once a week to keep them weed free. And so you can see how nicely this just slices underneath. And if I get a stiff patch, I'll come back. Usually don't have to, but I love how that design, it's sharp going both directions. So I can do a back and forth motion if I want. And I can also just, in reality, what I've been doing this spring is just quickly running up and down my paths. I'm gonna switch places with the videographer and run up the path. So another way that I love this tool, and I did this ahead of carrots, as I've been using it a bit as a ripper or a chisel plow. And I can do that because you can see how easy it is to adjust the depth of the blade here. And at fully adjusted, I'm at about 8 inches depth. And I saw how hard that steel is, and I thought, well, hey, why can't I use that as a ripper? So this will be a bit of a workout, but it's a way of you don't have to use a gas engine, you can go pretty deep. So I have not ripped in here, and I've not planted yet this spring. We had heavy packed snow melt, and the ground is a bit stiff here. I could certainly direct seed lettuce or something in it, but if I want to do carrots, here's what I've been doing, is ripping ahead. And you can see I'm getting about as deep as I could with broad forks and really loosening the ground. Now I can see I can easily go 4 or 5 inches with my hand. In this situation, I would do the whole bed at once, but for sake of the video here, I'll go over. And these beds are 1 meter in width, so 42 inch. And I have been ripping ahead of roots, such as the beech you see next to me, with this tool before planting. And I love that I can just do it by hand. I've not yet found a hand tool that lets me do this type of ripping and deep soil loosening. Okay. So the other attachment I've been using with this tool is the 3-tine cultivating attachment. Now I got my heart rate up. But you can see how easy it is to change attachments and how easy it is to adjust the depth. I'm just gonna do kind of a middle setting. And in this case, after ripping, I would go ahead and do a bit of more surface level loosening. Very easy to do, and a bit of like tilting or tilling, but staying as close to the surface as you want, using hand power, which is really pretty cool. Don't even need battery power for this tool. So after using the 3-tine cultivator on this, a simple raking with the bed rake, and we're ready to seed. And we've got a nice loosened hand powered with nice bed to grow in with hand powered tools. Okay, probably my second most touched tool this spring is a 5-inch wheel weeder. And this is a French wheel weeding tool, and I admit I was skeptical when I first saw it that it would work. I didn't understand how it would work, and didn't understand the advantage of this over just a wheel hoe with, say, a collinear hoe attachment to it. However, the proof is sort of in the pudding, and let me just show you what's going to happen here. The tool is weighted just perfect. And when your crop is young, you're simply walking between your rows to do your cultivation. And see how nicely it crumbles the soil behind. And it's been my Friday afternoon task to run around the farm with this tool going between rows of plants. So let's get a close-up here between these little cilantro plants. So see how easy this is to use. I can run all around the farm. And if you have rocks, and here I've got an old plant root got stuck in here. If you have a lot of rocks and trash, this probably isn't the tool that's going to work for you, but I found it takes my compost nicely. And you can adjust the depth of the blade here. I have it fairly tight, so there's only 1 inch between the wheel and the blade. And so rocks or sticks bigger than 1 inch will plug up in here. But if you have lots of rocks bigger than that, you can lengthen that distance here, and that will allow larger objects to pass through. Let me do some larger cilantro here, and you can see what it looks like on a larger crop. And as with all cultivating, it's about timing. And this crop is just big enough that I can still get in here. And it is pulling up a few leaves, but I can still pass. If this crop, probably by next week, it'll be too big for me to get in. And certainly your crop can be too small for this tool to be practical too. So it's about timing, and the soil has to be fairly dry too. I did a round of irrigating last night, and we got some moisture in the ground, but if it's really wet and sticky, the tool won't work. It'll gum up in here. However, I've been very surprised at how versatile the tool is and the versatility of conditions. And I found it to be worth the price just because of how effective it is and how easy it is to go up and down all the paths between rows on our farm, and how fun it is. I see it hanging there and I want to grab it and use it, which tells me there was some thought and design that went into that tool.